This is the story of two pancakes and an invisible smile. Or maybe better, the story of how a very brief meeting with someone can have such an impact in your life. 2 years ago I was at the hospital for 5 weeks and I was diagnosed cancer. Can happen, right? And the days before and even the first weeks at the hospital I couldn't eat. So I lost 13 kilo in just a few weeks and I was completely weakened. But the treatment they gave me started to work very well. These medical people in that hospital decided that I needed 6 times chemotherapy. And indeed, it started to work. But after the second one, there were problems. My body was completely weakened because, of course, of the cancer. And because I couldn't eat, I lost also my immune system. With the result that I had infections and pneumonia. Which means they had to stop the treatment because of course the chemo is very heavy stuff and I couldn't take it anymore. So first they had to fix the other problems before they could continue chemotherapy. And to do that they installed me in a separate room, so for me alone, and I was connected to this kind of quick start battery charger. And there were Wi-Fi cables and drainage and electricity and well, I don't know what. I was also connected to some kind of TV that gives you graphics, but I couldn't see because they installed the TV the wrong way around, so I saw the backside. And to complete the scene they also gave me some chrome-plated Christmas tree, you know, with casters and decorated with plastic bags with mysterious liquids in them. With as a result, of course, that I had to be very careful if I wanted to make any movement. Now, of course, at that moment I was completely out of energy. Even turning my head was a really big task, so getting out of my bed was very close to impossible. Of course the medical people don't tell you with this so many words, but for me it was obvious that my situation was close to desperate. So it could very well be that I fall asleep and never wake up again. I knew this, and I was perfectly in peace with that idea. Of course, it's maybe a little bit bizarre as topic to make videos about dying, but it's part of life, right? So all I could do at that moment was just lying there and waiting and see what was going to happen. And I didn't have really any problems with it. You know, I did some great things in life. I reached some goals I had set for myself. I don't have any debts, so okay. So I was just lying there and thinking, and suddenly the silence was broke by noises in the hallway. Noises of casters that needed some oil, and noises of plates and forks and knives that fall on this place, and people talking. And because I wanted to know what was happening, I turned my head in direction of the door of the room that was open at that moment because it was a very hot day and it was very hot in the hospital. Suddenly there's this beautiful young girl that storms in my room holding a plate in her hand, and she smiles at me and asks me, "Want pancake?" And without even waiting for an answer, she storms to the little table and smashes the plate, paf, onto it, and turns around and zoo, disappeared again. And I tried to recover a bit to what just happened to me, and I said, "Yes." Total time, not even 2 seconds. She had these big, beautiful black eyes, you know. She looked a bit as if she came from India or somewhere around India. And it was obvious that she didn't speak our language very well, because only 2 words, but translated will be "want pancake." And I want to believe she had this big, but very big, beautiful smile on her face. Of course, she was wearing a face mask, but you can tell even with a mask if people are smiling or not. I don't know how she managed to do it, but she radiated this positive energy. She had a job to do, distribution of pancakes to all the patients, and she wanted to do it right, and she was happy to do it. Because I said to this girl that I wanted her pancakes, and to say more or less thank you for it, the least I could do was to eat them, of course. But the pancakes were on the table and I was in the bed. Total distance between bed and table, give and take, 2.5 meters. For a normal person in normal conditions, 3 steps. But to me, with all my cables and wires and pipes and all these things, plus my muscular power was completely gone, no force. My brain didn't want to cooperate anymore with what's left of my body. So to me it looked a bit as if I had to go and climb the Mount Everest. With all this positive energy she just gave me, I managed to sit in my bed and put my legs on the floor and paying attention at all these wires and stuff, trying not to suicide myself, of course, it's dangerous. And I take my chrome-plated Christmas tree to hold myself, trying not to break this electric pump that was installed on it. And I managed to go to the table and sit on this wooden chair. And I started to eat the pancakes that, of course, in the meanwhile were already cold because it took a long time before I reached them, but I started to eat. And I'm telling you, they tasted like pancakes. But not grandmother's pancakes. No. Industrial pancakes. It's of course also because of this chemotherapy. You always have this metal taste in your mouth and everything tastes about the same. Not good. But I start to eat, and take my time because my stomach was completely shrunk because I couldn't eat the days before, and I eat these pancakes. And after I don't know how many minutes I finally finished these two pancakes and my stomach was completely stuffed with it and I really didn't feel good. And now, second problem, I had to go back to my bed. An almost impossible task. And I was sitting on this chair trying to decide when I wanted to start the adventure to go back to my bed. And at that moment, the same girl with the same big smile storms into the room again. She stops and she asks me, was good? And without waiting for an answer, picks up the empty plate, turns around and zoom, disappear again. 2 seconds. But I think she radiated just enough energy to me to make me decide and survive my way back to the base camp. And I lay down in my bed. And when I was laying down in my bed, completely finished, game over, and my stomach hurt because of all these pancakes in it, I couldn't stop thinking of Miss Pancake and all this positive energy, this radiation, you know, it was a fantastic moment. And I felt that slowly but surely I started to pass out. And if you ask yourself, and did you survive? Bah, huh? Of course, I have no idea how much time I was completely off the grid, but a miracle started to happen, and slowly but surely I started to wake up again. All these rusty gears inside what was left of my brain started to engage again. And I say to myself, hey, I'm still alive. And that's also where my memory started to work again and brought me back to this beautiful young girl. And at that moment, I think I had an even bigger smile on my face than Mrs. Pancake. I'm absolutely convinced that Miss Pancake has no idea of what she meant for me that day. She gave me this little spark you need, just enough to light the fire again and go for it again. So Miss Pancake, this video is for you. Just to say thank you very much what you did to me with your 2 pancakes and an invisible smile from India. Thank you very much.